Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they were meant to be. I'm your co-host, Julietta, also known as the Magical PT, coming to you live from sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida. For a minute, I was like, where am I? So yes, I'm a physical therapist here. I am definitely an alternative. I left this morning. I have a networking meeting, and one of the people that was visiting said that, what he does is very scientific and not woo-woo at all. So when it came time for me to do my commercial, I said, it's totally woo-woo what I do. I own my woo-woo. I love my woo-woo.
That's awesome.
If you're looking for some woo-woo PT, I'm your girl.
What did this person do for a profession? I'm curious.
Hypnotist.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But anyway, in addition to helping people on their healing journeys, finding balance in their bodies, I also do jewelry with crystals and gemstones, and I paint, but it's all in the healing realm too. It all ties together. So, and I'm joined here with my lovely co-host.
Hi, everybody. I'm Allison Mancini. I'm excited to be here today. And I am also in South Florida, originally a Michigan girl, but I've been down here in South Florida for a really, really long time. I am married to an amazing guy for almost 29 years. And we have a 25-year-old son and a 22-year-old daughter. And I actually probably need to start saying, and an almost daughter-in-law that's 25 as well. So I really have 3 children now, plus 2 fur babies and a cat. So, and I am the operations and human resources director at a company called the Gold Digger Girl. I'm also a nutritionist, and I love good food and I love helping people. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell.
Awesome. So it's still May, and our sponsor for the month of May is Bowtie Kids. Mm-hmm. Bowtie Kids, Courage and Confidence for Kids with Chronic Pain, is an impact-driven, for-purpose organization committed to enhancing the lives of youth suffering from chronic pain and their families. Its mission is to inspire courage and confidence in youth living with chronic pain and their families by transforming lives through personal development, community building, and gardening to build a sustainable quality of life. On May 26th, which is today, and in fact, it's just a couple hours from now, is their Courage and Confidence Awards, where I will be. I got to go home and transform myself for this event because they are epic. It's dressed to impress, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The event is sold out tonight, so I'm super excited. Don't know if some of our listeners are going to be there, but I hope so. I look forward to seeing you there. And while at this point it's too late to get yourself tickets, you can still go online, put in bids for the silent auction, which, holy cow, like the stuff that they have there for auction, like a vacation to the Amalfi Coast.
What?
Yes, you have to go look. Go look.
Is it online? Can you do it online?
Yes, you can do it online. Oh. If you go to their website, www.bowtiekids.org, you can go there and check it out. Like, I donated this really cool basket. It's got a session with me. It's got essential oils, a diffuser, a mala, some other little fun goodies in there. I mean, the basket that I created has a value of over $600. Very nice. But I'm like, when I saw the other stuff that's on there, it's like, oh, my little piddly basket.
I was going to say, I love your basket, and I would totally, put a bid down on that. But when you said Amalfi Coast, I just heard nothing else. So, yeah. Sorry. I love you, and you have amazing stuff.
Well, what I will say, the starting bid for the Amalfi Coast compared to my basket is a little different too. So, yeah. Just putting that out there. But so like I said, even if you can't, and if you're listening to this podcast in the future, know that you can always go onto their website and donate support. It's an amazing organization. I love working with them. And yeah, there's a lot of kids out there with chronic pain that need help. So
there are. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anyway, So I was just really thinking a lot today about how Allison and I went away together this weekend to do work on this podcast. It is more than just showing up and us talking. There is a lot of work behind this thing that we do, and it's just like so impressed with how much more we can accomplish and get done by just switching our environment, being in a different place. And it's also really nice. We're surrounded by nature and all of this good stuff. But um
And we did actually have a good dinner one night.
We had a great dinner. Our dinners both nights were completely fine, and just the company, the feeling of a and but anyway, I just wanted to put that out there as a tool that people can use, like when you need to, as a goddess, get a lot of stuff done, that sometimes it's helpful to remove yourself from your normal environment.
Mm-hmm.
So removing yourself from your office or your home and just going someplace different just really helps.
Especially now, because I think so many people are working still. I mean, like, listen, I work remotely from home. I work by myself in my office all day long. Like, still so many people do not go into an office. And even I know people that go into an office, but there's like barely anybody there anymore. So I think it's so nice to like immerse yourself with your coworkers, even maybe you don't really love all your coworkers. Thankfully, I love my co-host, so I don't mind immersing myself with her for a few days. But even for at the Gold Digger Girl, we had a staff retreat. We were together for 3 days. There's 15 of us, and we got so much accomplished, right? And it's just that time. And even for you and I being together this past weekend, you grow more, you learn more, you get to know each other better, which just makes you be able to do your job better, right? It just Absolutely. All ties together. So I love that.
Should we bring on our guest?
Yes, we absolutely should.
All right.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Welcome to the show. We are super excited that you are here today, and we'd love it if you would introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them who you are, what you do, the magic that you make.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks again for having me. I'm really excited to be here today. And so I'm Rebecca Schaffer. I am a Reiki master and Kundalini yoga teacher. I actually spent the last 15 years working in nonprofit management. And I loved it. I got to work for some really amazing nonprofit organizations, and we did some really great work in our community, also here in South Florida. That is where I live. And in 2020, when the pandemic hit, it got crazy, and I found myself kind of reevaluating, like a lot of people were doing at the time and still doing. And that led me back to Reiki and meditation, which I had always been into. It had always been a support mechanism for me, for the last 20 years or so. And I just found myself just really falling back in love with it. And so while I was still working, I decided to get back into Reiki, and I got certified. So I went all in. I launched my Reiki healing business on the side while I was still doing my nonprofit work. And yes, I was paid to work in the nonprofit sector. People always ask me that. Oh, were you paid? Was that a paid position? I don't know why people think that everyone just volunteers, but so I just wanted to clarify that just in case. So I got certified, and then back into meditation, and now I'm recently a certified Kundalini teacher, Kundalini yoga teacher. So I am full force Reiki healing, doing Kundalini yoga, teaching people to connect with their authentic selves, to heal their minds, bodies, and souls, and get back in touch with that other part of themselves that we often neglect, and a lot of people don't even acknowledge is there.
That's awesome. I love that. And I used to work in the nonprofit industry as well, right before the pandemic. And my job completely ended when the pandemic hit. So there you go. Yes,
oh, wow.
Yeah, totally get that. So we're going to dive right into our questions with you. And our first question that we like to ask our guests is, what is one book that you wish every goddess would read and why? And how has this book really impacted you in a meaningful way?
Okay, so this was really, really hard. Of course, so many amazing books that have impacted me. I want to briefly mention, before I say the actual book, that I am in love with Lisa Lister. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she is an author. She's a lover of everything woo also. And I'm reading a couple of her books right now, Code Red and Presence. And I just want to throw that out there in case there's any, lady out there who has struggled with her menstrual cycle, or, identified with the symptoms and ups and downs and anything that's caused from your monthly cycle. She has written a book about how to harness that as a superpower. And I wanted to just put that out there because I'm currently reading it. I can't say that I've put it to use yet, but I bought the journal that goes along with it and everything, and I'm really excited about it. And in case anyone's struggling with that, I wanted to put that out there. But the book that really has impacted me most recently is called Aligned: Connecting Your True Self with the Leader That You're Meant to Be. And I found this book. Allison lost her background.
All good, all good.
So I found this book back when I was still working in the nonprofit world, and I just felt incredibly out of alignment. I didn't know what was causing it, because honestly, at the time, I had my dream job. I actually, spent 15 years working my way to get to the point where I was. And for some reason, I wasn't happy and I didn't understand. And I just felt so out of alignment. And I was listening to this podcast one day called Lead from the Heart by Mark Crowley. And he had mentioned, he was like, he was talking to me. Oh, if you're working and you feel completely out of alignment, you think, you should be exactly where you should be. And why am I feeling out of alignment? Then this book is for you. And I was like, oh, well, okay then. So that book, it connected me back to my authentic self. It had me think about what I enjoyed when I was a kid, when, there was no ego involved. It was, tearing away the layers, uncovering your why, digging back into your why you do things the way that you do, what you truly just enjoy. What would you do if you could just to have fun? And that was the starting point for when I realized, okay, I'm out of alignment because this is not what I love. So that was very profound for me. It was the first step in a series of steps that led to me opening my eyes and becoming more conscious of myself and the situation that I was in.
And that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. When we talk about this all the time on the show, that it's okay to change what you do. A lot of our parents, and even me being a little bit older than some of our listeners, but we were kind of raised that you pick your career, you go to college, you study for that career, and that's what you do for the rest of your life. And you absolutely have permission to change what you're doing professionally at any time in your life. There is, there's no rule that says, oh, just because you went to school for this, or because you started this, or you committed all this time to this, there's nothing that says that you have to stay with that. And so love to hear that there's a book out there to help people support with that. And thank you for sharing your story, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are, it's like we wait for permission to do things, and sometimes that permission is seeing that someone else did it successfully. So that's perfect.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to mention it. And I know right now too, especially with the pandemic and everyone just reevaluating, I think, and with just our current environment changing and the way we work and the way we do everything, it's almost like the time is now. It's the perfect time. And there's this book that is a great tool that people can use to really figure out what it is, so they can seize that moment and go for it right now.
I am happy to hear that I'm not frozen anymore. So, okay, I was going to say something about that book because it sounds amazing. I know what it was. When you said the thing about going back to like your childhood and just doing things, how you would as a child. One of the girls that I work with at our retreat, one of her goals is to do something different every day, something new that she's never done before. And it can be super small, like trying a new food or going out. It's like a new adventure is how she says it, like something adventurous that she wouldn't otherwise do. And we were talking about it this morning, and she said she's been doing it. And like the other day she went and took a meal planning class. One of the other days she went for a walk somewhere she'd never walked before. Like they can be little things, but I think that's so cool that she's doing that and getting back into that whole just being and doing things that are fun and that are adventurous. And I think that's really cool. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah. So our next question for you is, what would be your top self-care practice and how does it support you?
So hands down, my top self-care practice is my daily practice, my daily meditation and yoga practice. I need at least something every day, a little something in the morning before I start my day. Before everyone gets up in my house. I didn't mention this in my introduction, but I am married to a wonderful husband and I have a 4-year-old daughter who's also wonderful. But every day, before everybody gets up, I grab my coffee because I still, no matter, how much energy work or whatever, I still need my coffee in the morning. So I get my coffee and I meditate, and, I take an hour unless, something's happening, right? Where I can't, but I drink my coffee, I do some breath work, I meditate, I give myself a full Reiki self-treatment. If I have time, I'll journal a little bit, but this helps me get centered and connected to myself and connected with my energy before I go and have to deal with anything else in the world. And for me, it's very important. I'm an empath, and I can get jolted and affected by other people's energy. And if I go out there and try to be effective and do things without centering myself and having my time first, then it's not a good thing. And I need that. And actually, my mom just told me recently that even when I was a kid, I would put my hand up and be like, I need space. I need space. Like I used to do that when I was a kid, like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense. I need to spend time with myself for a little bit every morning before I go out there.
Yep. I have to do the same thing. And coffee, I just love the taste of coffee. So I will drink it forever and always. But I agree with you. I think for me, and everybody's different. Some people prefer evenings, but I like I need a good hour to myself in the mornings. And I do, I have different routine that I do, but coffee is one of them. Journaling is one of them. Meditating. And on the days if something crazy happens and that doesn't occur, I definitely feel off. Like I need that time. An empath as well. So I really need that time to just have my time and just do what I'm going to do. So I agree with you 100%. This is my favorite time of day now. It's my time to myself in the mornings.
Me too. I love it.
So our next question for you, Rebecca, is we all have days where it's just really difficult to show up, but we have no choice. We got to do it. What tools or techniques do you have to help you rise up and get through a day like that?
So I have some great tools now, as a yoga teacher and meditation teacher and all of that. So one of my favorite things, and I hope that all of you out there will try this. It's really cool and it works. Is if there's something going on and you need to cool down, if you're just angry or something's happening out of your control or anything like that, that's getting you emotional or in a state of feeling stuck or anything like that, where you just need to cool down. It's a breathing technique, and it's called Satali Pranayam. And if you do it for 3 minutes, it will instantly cool you down, and it will actually neutralize the energy in the room that you're in and the other people. It actually affects the other people who are involved too. So I know there's going to be people who are not watching the video, they're listening, so I'll try to explain it. You stick your tongue out and you curl it, and it's okay. Not all people can curl their tongue, but you stick it out and you breathe in very deeply through your mouth, through the curled tongue, and through your teeth. And then you exhale completely out of your nose. And if you do it for 3 minutes, it will completely cool you down and neutralize the energy. And I do it around my 4-year-old pretty often. And so the minute I start doing it, she knows too that, oh, okay. She actually knows now that she needs to just like take a breather there too. So it's kind of fun.
Does she do it with you?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, and she sings mantras with me, and she's getting into it too. I can't wait till she grows more. I mean, she's only 4, so but yeah, she's into it.
That's awesome. And the fact that she has exposure to this, at such an early age, will definitely put her leaps and bounds ahead of others. So that's great.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Our fourth question for you is, and while yes, every experience we have in life plays a role in shaping who we are, but there's always some of those standout ones that really created a big impact on us. So what is a life experience that has played a big role in forming who you are today?
Well, I was thinking a lot about this. It's really hard. This was another really hard one. Of course, meeting my husband and having my daughter and all of that. And, back in my first phase of life and career, it made me think about all of the people that, went to bat for me and helped me along the way, where I was able to get so much experience in my career and life. And, I remember working at the Red Cross, and I was the executive assistant at the time. And also the guy I worked for, Rob, he was really, really tough on me. And there were times where I hated it, but like, he was amazing. He had, so much tough love. He said, "Oh, I remember when you wandered over here as a pathetic waif, and I turned you into a real business person." Like, that sounds horrible, but like that just, but it's funny and a little true. But anyway, and then another woman, Dawn, who came along and was like, "Girl, you need to be a fundraiser." And like, that changed my whole trajectory, and she went to bat for me, and it makes me think about that. And I got all of these really amazing experiences where I learned so much through working with really, really smart people. And, you know, so I wouldn't be where I am today and be able to launch a business and do what I'm doing now and have kind of a nice balance between, like what you were saying earlier, the woo-woo stuff. I have all the woo-woo stuff and the healing and all of this. And I have a pretty good foundation with some business and development and other things from the nonprofit world. And it's because of people who, you know, went to bat for me and supported me. And, you know, we need to do that more for people. And I just think that's so important. And that, you know, that's really affected me in a great way.
Yeah, as physical therapists, you know, all PTs, when they graduate, they have to do internships. And they always ask, you know, what recommendations do I have for early on in their career? And I always tell them the most important thing is who you surround yourself with. And you surround yourself with people that are positive and have amazing skills and knowledge. That's going to, you know, leach off onto you. You know, if you're out by yourself, you don't have anybody to learn from and to support you. And it makes it really difficult to, you know, learn and grow when you're all by yourself. And so, yeah, surrounding yourself with amazing people makes you amazing.
Definitely. 100%. And now I'm trying to get back into that and do that now in this new world that I'm working and living in. And I'm so glad that I've connected with you guys. And, you know, and then it's even harder when you're a solo practitioner and you're in your little bubble, and it's like, okay, I have to push myself even more. Like I need to go connect with people. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is to connect with people. And so, yeah, that's definitely something to keep on thinking about and doing.
Perfect. So if there was one thing you would want our audience to take away from our time here today, what would that be?
So one thing I can't emphasize enough is, you know, to just do what you can to really connect with your authentic self and follow your heart, and just know that if you have a calling, something from your heart, that just won't stop, that it's there, and it's like an itch, and that you need to follow it, and just know that you will be supported. The universe has a way of giving you what you need when you need it. And just to break through the fear that comes, it's always there, to break through that, and just to remember who you are, and that everyone has their own unique magic to share with the world, and follow your heart, and that will lead you to sharing your unique magic, and, you know, making the world better.
That was beautifully said. Like, can we just record that and play that back often? It's really good. That was amazing.
Everybody needs to listen to that once a day.
Yes, absolutely.
Twice if you're having a bad day.
Rewind it and play it again. Yep.
And I need to play it for myself too.
Yeah, I mean, we all need that. We all need that reminder. It's great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Rebecca. It has been wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Also want to thank you to our sponsor, Bowtie Kids, amazing organization. And please reach out and support them however you can. And of course, always thank you to our audience. Without our audience, it would be pointless for us to be here. And if you've liked what you've heard today, please subscribe, follow, like, and share. And if you'd like to get in touch with Rebecca, Allison, or myself, check out the show notes. All of our contact information, social media, et cetera, is there in the notes. So reach out. We would love to connect with you. And with that, I want to wish everybody a magical day.